It happens in the gaps. You're waiting for the elevator, standing in line for coffee, or sitting in the brief silence after someone finishes speaking. Nothing is wrong, nothing is happening, and without a conscious decision, your hand is already moving. Your phone is in your palm. The screen lights up, you swipe. Maybe check the time you already know. Glance at an app you opened 10 minutes ago. You weren't bored. You weren't looking for anything. It was just what happened next. If I asked you why you did that, you probably couldn't give me a real answer. That small, unconscious movement, that twitch, might be the most common physical gesture of our time. And it isn't an accident. In the last video, we talked about why focus feels harder than it should. This time, I want to look at something smaller. A moment so familiar, we barely notice it at all. My name is Noah, and I spend way too much time thinking about attention and human behavior. If you've ever felt distracted, mentally tired, or unable to focus without knowing why, this channel is for you. We tend to describe moments like this as lapses in willpower, a moment of boredom. We say, I just checked my phone, but that word, just, is doing a lot of work. It makes the action feel simple, accidental, harmless. But look closer. This is rarely a conscious choice. It's closer to a reflex, and a reflex isn't a character flaw, it's a learned response. We blame ourselves for behaviors that are actually designed. Think about where your phone is right now. In your hand, on the desk, screen up. In your pocket, close to your body. Its mere presence, especially in your line of sight, which acts as a constant, low-level prompt. Not demanding your attention, just suggesting itself. Studies suggest the average person touches their phone over 2,600 times a day. What's interesting is that many of these touches happen without a trigger. No notification, no vibration, no sound. We just look. That's not about time, it's about mental weight. Every app icon hints at something you could do. Every unread message waits for a response. Even when you're doing nothing, your brain is managing background possibilities. That's mentally expensive. This system runs on two powerful mechanisms. The first is dopamine, not the pleasure chemical, but the seeking chemical. It's the signal that asks what might be here. The second is the habit loop. Cue, a pause, a moment of silence, a slight uncertainty, routine, reach for the device, reward, a micro hit of novelty, a sense of resolution. I checked. Your phone isn't designed to keep you scrolling for an hour. It's designed to make the initial reach automatic, to own the transition moments. Because if something owns your transitions, it owns the rhythm of your attention. Every time we follow that itch without awareness, we perform a tiny, silent ceremony. We teach our brains, when momentum fades, look outward. We are quite literally practicing distraction, training ourselves to flee from the brief, fertile silence where thought actually forms. So when you just check your phone, you're not really making a choice. You're executing a subroutine written by an attention economy worth trillions of dollars. You are the user, and in that moment, you are also the product. This isn't about rejecting technology, and it's not a call for a digital detox. I'm not talking about using a map or answering an important message. I'm talking about the moments in between, the elevator, the red light, the walk down the hallway. We've almost completely eliminated boredom, and with it, the mental downtime our brains need to integrate experience. Calm now feels empty. Silence feels wrong. So we outsource it to a screen. I'm not here to tell you to fix this or optimize yourself or download a better habit. I just want to invite you to notice. The next time that urge appears, don't fight it. Pause for half a second. Notice the cue, that tiny vacuum of momentum, that undefined feeling, and ask quietly, what just happened? Not to stop the reflex, but to see it. Because when a reflex is seen clearly, it changes. It loses its innocence. It becomes a signal. And in the small space between the cue and the routine, you reclaim something you didn't realize you had lent out. the sovereignty of your own attention. The goal isn't to never check your phone. The goal is to understand the why behind the just, slow thoughts for a fast world. If this helped you notice something you hadn't noticed before, you might want to subscribe.